Well, folks, we got Kim all the way from Dubai again, and what a privilege it is to have him on the other side of the world here, and a Kiwi at that. So, Kim, what's happening in your world over there?
Hey, Max, kia ora. And as opposed to Sawadee-ka, where the last nearly 3 weeks being based in Surin Bay and Phuket in Thailand, and that was awesome to be there. Bit of work and bit of pleasure. But yeah, back in Dubai, back in the United Arab Emirates, and very pleased to be back here. Probably the coldest winter we've had here for the last 20 years. We actually had a woolly jumper on in the evenings.
What was it, down to 40 degrees Celsius, I suppose?
No, we're talking well down under 20 degrees and lots of rain and lots of flooding. So climate change, here we come, but it's actually been very refreshing, and the desert is turning green.
You're kidding me. So I imagined you guys are in desert with sand, and yet you're having rain and thunderstorms.
Been raining. It was raining for a week up until last week, and massive change in the environment here. So who knows? But yeah, very pleasant, and cooled the place right down. So the garden's going crazy at the moment. But
well, of course, all those tourists, you're inundated with tourists over there now because of the Expo, which is going on. So tell us what have you been down there recently, or are you going down soon?
Well, here we go, Max. I've been promising this for months now, as your followers will know. So I'm making the commitment. We're going down with Andrea, my production manager, and one of my colleagues, and we're going down there to film on site with you next Monday. So we're going to get that out. We're going to do an interview show people around long last at Expo. Expo, by the way, has had about 3 million visitors through over the last nearly 4 months. We've got 2 months to go. So we're going to get down there. We're going to have a look at the New Zealand pavilion. We're going to have a look, walk you through while we're down there. The New Zealand pavilion has had over 400,000 visitors. I see in the media yesterday. So Clayton Kimpton's doing a great job.
Let's just do that again. New Zealand's had 400,000 visitors, nearly 500,000.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow, that's massive.
Big New Zealand promotion going on at this time of year here, as traditionally. So there's a big degustation 10-course Kiwi meal for 395 dirhams, which is about 130 bucks New Zealand. And just might be able to slip that in tomorrow. We'll see what the schedule looks like.
Well, yeah, you send me a doggy bag. That'll be great. I'd really appreciate that. Send it right over. I'd be happy to eat that.
Yeah, totally. So New Zealand's on the menu, and it's on the agenda here. So the government guys up here, the trade guys are doing a great job, and girls are doing a great job up here. So well done to them.
New Zealand's on the menu. Now, if you look at anyone looks at the map who's not from New Zealand, they'll have a look at that and see the shape of our country and think it's been on the menu before. It looks like it's half eaten up, well, the nibbles and bites out of it. But that's our country, and it is quite rugged terrain, and it's got a pretty wet climate, or reasonably wet, which is good. We get right now, Kim, it's probably nearly 30 degrees, and so it's baking to us down here. And of course, that's probably midwinter for you.
Absolutely midwinter here, and but you know, let's remind everybody in New Zealand that the Emiratis love New Zealand. People from this region throughout the Gulf, Saudi Arabians, everybody loves to get down to New Zealand. Can't get in, can't even get in. I was talking to my niece last night in Canada, and she wants to get back to see her folks in Napier, and can't get a slot in a hotel to MIQ to come and visit. So, I mean, what's government doing, mate? How's it all going down there with your COVID, with Omicron? Because we're coping with it here. Everybody, we had 400,000 tests yesterday. You know, all the hotels are fully booked. The airport's crazy. You had 1 million people through it the other day. In one day, 1 million people.
So Kim, what's happening here is Australia's gone really, they've infested with this Omicron going right through their whole society. Now, what's happening to us? All our parliaments shut down. All our politicians have gone on holiday. Thank you very much. But all the experts in terms of this virus are telling us, you look out, New Zealand, you're next. You're going to get flooded with it. And right now, that'll be fine because it's not going to be lethal for some people it might be, but particularly the vulnerable. But what they're saying is our hospital system will not cope, and our government are nowhere to be seen to try and actually up the beds and the ICU units and all those things. We've got the lowest number of ICU beds in the OECD. So we're really, really at a vulnerable point, and there's not a politician in sight because folks, it's holiday time. And well, you know, be nice to be on holiday, but some of us in small business, we just keep battling on.
Yeah, same old story. It comes down to the people in small business to bear the brunt of all of these sorts of things and policy decisions. Well, you know, all I can do is always encourage the government to really ramp up, make sure you can get tourism back on the agenda again. And, you know, I mean, one of our staff, very serious flu for the last 10 days. She's almost been in a coma. She was negative on COVID. And I had another mate who's had, for the third time, he's vaccinated and he's had COVID 3 times, including the Omicron, but all reasonably mild. So
good.
I think we're going to end up living with this thing moving forward, the next generation, and it's going to be just like the flu. So,
look, I take a lot of lessons from you, and I think that's exactly right. And so I think, yeah, let New Zealand be saturated, but it's the trouble for the vulnerable that will they get into hospitals and will they be full up? There's a lot of people anti-vax here, and unfortunately, they might fill the hospitals up. And of course, those very vulnerable people, well, we might lose a few. So that's a bit tough, and fingers crossed. Now, look, Kim, the whole population of the globe will be watching next week because you're going to take us to Expo. So stand by for that. We'll be inundated. All the valves and all the wires on our computers will be running hot because there'll be millions of people watching on. So looking forward to next week, Kim.
Go on, Max. We'll be there and with bells on and show everybody around what we can of Expo for a short interview.
All righty. Say goodbye in Arabic. Thank you.
Hey, salam alaikum. Thank you, Max, and we'll see you next week.
Salam alaikum. Ciao.
Okay.